Good day guys, today I want to show you, like the title says, an NFT game in which I made around $521 in 1 month, or for our Indonesian friends that's 7.8 million rupiah or 28,000 pesos without spending a single cent or farming invites or referrals. So quick throwaway or disclaimer, this set amount for a month is actually inaccurate because I probably got more than the indicated amount for less than a month's worth of time. I will segment this video into topics which will be available in the description. If you want to skip to certain topics, then feel free to do so, but I highly recommend that you watch everything in the proper order because I think that you need to understand the full context and of course know all the information that I need to share with you. I also suggest that you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell on because I have more quality content for you aside from this. So with that out of the way, let's go and dive right in. The game that we will be talking about today is Sidus Heroes. This is a AAA quality project from a well-funded, highly experienced, and well-doxed team that already had success prior in Web2 games and projects beforehand. In terms of budget and resources, Sidus Heroes has the trust of companies like Animoca Brands and Polygon. Polygon is one of the common blockchain networks out there, while Animoca Brands probably do not need any introduction. They have billions invested into entities in a lot of different industries. As of Feb 2022, Sidus Heroes have managed to secure around $21 million in funding. For perspective, Axie Infinity's Series A funding round amounted to around $7.5 million only, and while Sidus Heroes funding compared to the total amount received by Sky Mavis to develop their flagship project Axie Infinity is small when you zoom out, that is still a lot of money invested and entrusted to them by venture capitalists and companies. In terms of genre, it is obvious from the aesthetic that it's a futuristic and space-themed game that plays out outside in the vast universe. In terms of what type of game it is, it's technically not a game in the traditional sense, but rather it's a franchise or a network of games with a lot of different genres. So Sidus Heroes is planned to have, just from the start of the project, an FPS game, an MMORPG or overworld type of game, and a tower defense game, just to name a few. Each of which will have their own semi-independent economies that the players will mostly, if not completely, control. Sidus Heroes is an extremely ambitious project and I can't really do it justice trying to explain to you in the short amount of time that we have on this video. So you should read up through their website instead for the full details and see for yourself what exactly I mean. Now, it's highly likely that if you are here and you have browsed for other NFT games and the like, you have probably heard of a game called Star Atlas. Sidus Heroes and Star Atlas have a lot in common from the get-go, but also a lot of glaring differences that may not be obvious from the start. So the main things that I would like to say would be that they have very similar themes, obviously. They are both space-oriented games, futuristic type games with, a grand scope that follows mostly humanoid but non-human races as they battle for supremacy among the stars. As for the differences, at least for the short term, Sidus Heroes have taken a more grounded or personal approach in their games by mostly focusing on the first-person narrative instead of how Star Atlas went about it, which they focused on ship-based combat from the start, as far as I know. Sidus Heroes has the in-game battler arena, which you use individual fighters or heroes, and it also has Senna, the recently released game under the Sidus Heroes universe, which is mainly for mobile. Additionally, unlike Star Atlas, Sidus Heroes was relatively unexposed to the fallout of FTX, with Sidus Heroes having only a minimal investment by Alameda, while Star Atlas actually had 50% of their entire treasury compromised during the fallout of the FTX scandal. So with the background and fundamental stuff out of the way, let's dive into the actual games and mechanics in Sidus Heroes. So let's talk about the main game mode, the Battle Arena. It's simple, this is basically a 1v1 or 2v2 or 3v3 turn-based battle game between two players, the winner of which receives prizes, while the loser gets nothing, of course. So before you can enter the battler, of course, you need to have heroes and you need to prepare them, which includes assigning 10 stat points to 4 respective attributes, which is attack, vitality, agility, and defense. So each hero in the battle takes turns, the order of which is dictated by their speed stat. It goes on until eventually one team is wiped out and the other is victorious. They have a fun mechanic called the impact system, where getting hit by certain combinations of elements causes different negative effects to whoever is getting hit by them. This can be in the form of losing energy or taking more damage. Each hero also has an independent energy bar from his teammates, which differs a bit from what people are accustomed to, Axie Infinity, for example. Heroes gain a certain amount of energy during the first and second round and increases after the third round. Individual heroes also gain more energy for just skipping their turn completely. Currently, the game has 3 races at the start. If you are claiming brand new or fresh cards, you get the chance to pick what race you want each hero to be. These 3 races are called the Voltron, the Raptorian, and the Ogia. Each of them have a distinct look and characteristics and different abilities and effects on their attacks basically. So the Voltrons have the highest potential health and speed. They deal more damage the more energy they currently have and can shield their allies. Raptorians have the lowest potential health and speed. They deal more damage the more injured they are and can heal their allies. While Ogias are kind of the middle ground in terms of stats. They can deal AoE damage on their attacks and they can buff their allies to make them hit harder. The Battler offers a lot of freedom in how you build your winning team and strategy. There are common meta builds, but there is really no best build at any point of time because how the teams work against each other and how the matchmaking is set up. The fact that you can reset the stats of your heroes an unlimited amount of times as well just adds to the complexity and the freedom and leisure in crafting your perfect team. Still on the topic of heroes, you have probably noticed that there are different rarities for them. In terms of quality, each hero is classified based on 2 things. It's based on rarity and collection. Each hero can be either of 2 collections and 1 of 3 rarities. The rarity of the hero, basically which can vary from common to epic and legendary, dictates the drop rate of and what resources you can get from winning. Which means that an epic hero can receive all the rewards a common hero can receive, for example, while also being able to receive the epic tier of rewards. However, the legendary hero can receive all the possible rewards for both lower rarities and some exclusive drops exclusive to him. Collection meanwhile refers to which series or collection the heroes came from itself. At the moment, the 2 main collections are Academy and Genesis, so Academy heroes are the more common type and receive a certain number of stimulant per day, while the Genesis heroes are the rarer and more expensive type but can receive a certain number of stimulant and polygons. Down the line, there are more privileges, I think, that is set in stone for the higher rarities and the higher collections. So to make an example, I can have an epic Genesis hero that can receive 3 stimulants and 3 polygons every day, while my legendary Academy hero can only receive 10 stimulants and no polygons. Talking about heroes, we also need to discuss weapons and gadgets. These are basically your tools that you equip to your heroes. They give additional skills, improve their stats, and so on. So equipping a railgun, for example, it allows your hero to shoot at an enemy that wounds them and inflicts bleed damage for a few turns, which can of course increase your damage output, for example. While equipping a certain gadget like the Freshman VO or the Voltron gadget, it increases your Voltron's energy at the start of the battle by 1 and increases his base attack as well. So gadgets and weapons are a huge part of Sidus heroes. If you want to win more than 50% of your games at least, they are definitely a must-have in my opinion. But this is a very complex topic and I have to discuss this to you at another time potentially. Now that we covered the basics, let's talk about the main topic of the video, which is how you actually earned in the game. At the moment, there are 2 main sources of income from playing Sidus heroes, which is 1. Playing the Battler and then selling your farm resources and assets, and 2. Investing in the modules in exchange for partial ownership of said modules. So basically, the modules are every function in the Sidus heroes main screen that you see, or the space station is basically a module. So the store, for example, this allows you to purchase items directly from the devs. That's a module. The reproduction facility, which allows the creation of replicants, that is also a module. And basically owning part of the modules through investment gives you a direct % of the revenue that is generated through usage of the module in the form of Sidus and Senate tokens. This basically gives you permanent passive income by investing in the modules. Your main modules of interest in terms of earning in the short term will be the marketplace, the hedonism center, and the bank. The marketplace is the secondary market where players can buy and sell each and every resource, asset, weapon, gadget, even heroes actually, for Sidus or Senate tokens. One of the main sources of income revolves around selling your farmed resources and assets here for Sidus. The Hedonism Center, on the other hand, is currently not yet complete, meaning you can still put resources into it for partial ownership. But basically, once this goes live, it will allow tournaments, leaderboards, competitive gameplay, basically, and competitions that will allow you to compete for Sidus and Senate tokens among your fellow players. Of course, if we're going to be talking about modules, we cannot talk about modules without discussing the bank. So, one of the main functions the bank has is it allows you to withdraw your in-game tokens and assets, which includes your Sidus tokens, to external wallets and addresses, like for example your MetaMask wallet, where you can in turn swap it out for USDT and basically allows you to cash out from the Sidus Heroes universe. So speaking of which, if you haven't created the wallet yet, you need to create one in order to play Sidus Heroes. I have a video for that, I will link it at the end of this video for you. An alternative to cashing out instead of using the bank is less secure but also available, which is to do a direct transaction with other investors or players in the game. This can be a bit dangerous, so I can't emphasize this enough, but please be careful when doing P2P transactions. For your safety, if you plan on doing these types of transactions, comment down below in the video and I will get back to you. I will give you a list of people who are trustworthy. You know, these are guys, these are investors, buyers, people who are well known and respected in the Sidus Heroes community as well, because of the participation and the sheer amount of investment that they have, that I can of course also personally vouch for. So let's get to it. How did I earn $521 for playing on and off for a month? Like I said earlier on in the video, in the disclaimer, this amount is inaccurate and is probably lower than what I actually received in the span of 1 month of playtime. I use a 3-hero team which consisted of 1 Legendary Academy and 2 Epic Academy heroes. How was this possible and what made up this amount? My profit came from selling stimulants, soft resources, and placing semi-consistently in the daily leaderboards, and from selling some seasonal and event items that I managed to farm up. Events allowed players to farm eggs, for example, and seeds, and more recently weapon workbench parts. Eggs fetch from $50 to $200 on the marketplace right now, while seeds can fetch up to $200 depending on the rarity. Weapon workbench parts not yet sellable at the moment, but all in all, what I'm trying to say is Sidus Heroes is a very lucrative game to play in no matter what you're looking for, whether to invest in a potential times 1000 gem or just to extract value for the short term for yourself. So at this point, you're probably thinking, so how much can I make in a month if I started playing now? You're probably asking me. Well, I have a computation for you, which I will share to you in a bit. But my suggestion for you actually is to first try out Sidus Heroes. I want you to see if you can find it enjoyable, you know, get a scholarship, join the Discord server. And if you want to fully commit to it after playing around for a bit, then feel free to buy your own heroes. But the main reason for this is it's better to go straight to playing 3 heroes instead of, you know, playing with just 1 or 2 for a while. And for optimal results, actually you want to have at least epic rarity ones. And of course, a higher collection is preferable. So a sample computation of how much you can actually make in a month that I did for December last year by using a team of 3 Epic Academy heroes and assuming that you have a 50-50 split with your manager, which is the standard right now, you stand to gain around $33 or 27,000 Sidus tokens from stimulants. For soft resources, that's around 35,000 Sidus tokens or $30. An unknown amount from the seasonal items and events, if you are paying attention, I already ran that down for you. And around 13,844 Sidus tokens or $17.92 daily once the daily leaderboards for PvP are up again and you can consistently place in the average of the top 50 every day. So basically, considering the Sidus price pool breakdown for the daily PvP leaderboards before it was reworked, I brought that up to your screen real quick. In total, you can make around 268.8 plus 30 plus 33, which amounts to $331.8 or 17,800 pesos, or for our Indonesian friends, 4.9 million Indonesian rupiah. Before I end the video, some closing remarks. Like I said earlier, I suggest looking for a scholarship first instead of buying into the project already, because the entry barrier can be high. A single hero can cost from $90 to upwards of $1,000 depending on rarity. And the optimal setup is to go straight to playing a 3-hero team, because so far all the seasonal events and rewards are exclusive for 3v3 players. And personally, guilds in this community are very welcoming as opposed to other NFT or play-to-earn games. So it's actually easier to get a scholarship in this game. Just put your best foot forward and interact in the community. If you're interested as well, comment below. I will get back to you with some managers you can get in touch with that I know. Expect the actual values that I discussed in terms of your potential earnings to widely vary as well because of price action of multiple assets, the overall saturation, the condition of the crypto market, and just plain old luck, to name a few. With all that in mind, I hope you managed to gain something from this video. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below and connect with me. And if you want more quality content like this, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you all on the other side.